Greetings and welcome to Yarnspirations.com. I'm Mary Beth Temple, and in this video we're going to take a closer look at the Diamond in the Rough knit blanket. This is a lush, thickly textured blanket that will keep you warm through the chilly nights of winter. It is made of Bernat Blanket. You can use the color of your choice, but we used 5 balls of light teal. You'll need a size US 11 or 8 millimeter circular knitting needle, 36 inches, 91.5 centimeters, long or longer, or of course the size needed to obtain gauge. Now we're going to knit back and forth on this pattern, but we need the circular needle to accommodate the large number of stitches. It is a big stitch repeat, but we have it charted out for you so that you can see what you're doing as you're doing it. It has a central double decrease that's a little different than what we normally do. It has well-placed yarn overs. It has interestingly placed single decreases, SSKs and K2 togs to get everything moving. It makes a really interesting pattern. So let's take a closer look at the stitching. Let's get going. Now I want to talk about the text version of the pattern and the chart version of the pattern and how to get the best use out of both of them. This is not an instance where you can just blindly follow the chart, because it is a large number of stitches in the stitch repeat, and it's going to, the beginning and end of the repeat is going to bounce around a little bit because it is such a big stitch pattern. However, you can see what you're doing when you're going along. And as I have often mentioned on this channel, if you want to cover up some rows so you're only looking at one row at a time, it's terrific to cover the rows you have not yet done rather than the rows that you already have done, and that way the stitches that you're knitting, you can see where they fall in relationship to the stitches you have already knit, and sometimes that's easier to make sure that you are in the right place. Now, I'm going to knit a row 9 here because it has all of the stitches that you're going to need to know how to do. We have our key down here. Now I want you to pay special attention to this center decrease. A lot of times when we see that symbol, it's slip 1, knit 2 together, pass, slip, stitch over, but not in this case. So every time you start a new pattern, even if you think you know what these abbreviations mean, it's good to look them up. So let's take a look on the first page and take a look and see what that center decrease is in this case. So we're going to slip the next 2 stitches onto the right hand needle as if to knit 2 together. So you're going to slip them 2 together at the same time, knit the next stitch, and then pass those 2 slip stitches over the knit stitch. And that is a double decrease, but it will keep the center stitch on the top. And so we will take a look at that when we get there, but that is a little different than we often do here, so I wanted you to pay attention to that. And of course, the right leaning decrease is K2 tog or knit 2 together. The left leaning decrease is SSK, which is slip, slip, knit 2 together through the back loop. And the little circle is a yarn over, as it very often is. And the blank boxes are knit on the right side row, purl on the wrong side row. And the boxes with the horizontal dash in them are the other way around. Purl on the right side row, knit on the wrong side row. So let's take a look at row 9. So I'm going to begin with the knit 2. Now you will notice, having since I have some of the swatch going here, all of your rows are beginning and ending with a knit 2, and that is to keep this nice little 2-stitch garter stitch border, because the yarn's so thick. That's a good size border, and it will keep your edges neat. So once again, we're looking at the chart for 9. In fact, let's do that so that we are all looking at the same place. All right, so we're going to knit 2 and then knit 2 together. Knit 1, 2, knit 2 together, so that's knitting 2 stitches as if they are 1. We've done that a lot. And then we're going to go knit 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over. So 1, 2, 3, yarn over. Now we're going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Whoops, I lost it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over, knit 3, and then we'll take a close look at that center decrease. So yarn over, bring the stitches between the two needles, and put it over the right hand needle. It gives you that yarn over. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and then let's take a look at that central decrease. So we're going to slip 2 stitches from the left hand needle to the right hand needle as if to knit 2 together. So I'm going to pretend that I'm going to knit 2 together, but I'm just moving it from the left hand to the right hand. Then I'm going to knit the next stitch on the left hand needle, and then I'm going to grab both of those 2 that I knit 2, did that sort of faux knit 2 together, that slip 2, and I'm going to pull both of them over the stitch that I have knit. And I've mentioned this in other videos, but I will here too. I like to hang on to the working yarn. I don't want to pull it in a death grip to make the stitch go out of tension, but I want to hang on to it so it doesn't off the end. And that gives you that central decrease, but what it does and why it's different than the other one that we have so often done is it keeps that center stitch right on top. And so it's good for visual interest. So now we're back to here. We're going to knit 3, yarn over. Yarn over. Knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, 3. That is the left leaning decrease, or the SSK. So slip 1 as if to knit, slip the second one as if to knit, knit 2 together through back loop, and then knit the last 2. 1, 2. And that is the end of that row and shows us all the different stitches that we need to know. Now I moved the chart a little closer so you could get a better look at it. So we finished row 9. Now we're going to move on to row 10. And once again, let's see, I'm going to move this up a little bit so I can see row 10. And once again, when you are doing the odd numbered or right side rows, you are reading the chart from right to left. But when you are doing wrong side or odd numbered rows, you are reading the chart from left to right. So I'm going to start on this side. That is going to be knit 2, because it says knit on the wrong side row, so I'm on a wrong side row. Then we will purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knit 7, purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, knit 7, purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, knit 2. As I said, it's a good little tip to remember that all the rows are going to begin and end with 2 knit stitches to give you that garter stitch edging. Now that was row 10. Let's take a look at it in text. So row 10 is the same as row 8. Row 8 is the same as row 6. So let's go back to row 6. knit 2, and then the repeat is purl 5, knit 7, purl 4, repeat from asterisk across 2 last 3 stitches, purl 1, knit 2. So once again, a lot of times if you look at a chart, it will be, the repeat will be gridded off in a different color and it will be straight. But because of the intricacies of this pattern, the repeat starts at different places. So while I wholly advise you taking a look at the chart to make sure your stitches are correct in relationship to each other, to get yourself started and find out where the repeat is, I do highly recommend that you read the text as well. Now this is a 24 row repeat. You're going to continue on following the chart and working in pattern until the work measures approximately 61 inches or 155 centimeters, ending on the 12th row or 24th row. So does that mean it's going to be exactly 61 inches or 155 centimeters? Nope. Basically make it as long as you want it in that general area, but you want to end with a 12th row or a 24th row to make the you don't want a chunk of a repeat. You want to make sure that a complete repeat is there. So that's why it ends there. Then you're going to knit your 5 rows of garter stitch and cast off knitwise. When you're finished, you're going to make a tassel by cutting a piece of cardboard 6 inches. Basically, the reason you're winding, so you're going to wind the yarn around the cardboard 40 times. The reason that you're going to count, as opposed to just going until it feels good, is that you would like your tassels to be even. So if you accidentally go 39 times or 41 times, is it a big deal? No, it's not. Just go ahead and make sure that they're all approximately the same size. And then once you have all those tassels done, you can stitch them onto the corners of the blanket. And all you have to do at that point is weave in your ends. Now, don't let all this ink and all this, the size of this chart mess you up or make you nervous about attempting this blanket. It is luscious and thick and textured, but it is really pretty intuitive. And once you get, like so many patterns that we do here, once you get that first repeat done, that first 12 or 24 rows done, it starts to make sense. If you go wrong, you'll see where you went wrong. And once again, if you have to put your work down and you need to remember where you were, I highly recommend using a pencil and just making little check marks. As you go, you can then do a second row of check marks or a third row of check marks, but you could also just erase them and go back. Or there is a product called highlighter tape. It looks like regular cello tape, but it's colored and it's removable. So you can highlight the row that you're working on. Then when you put your work down to make dinner or answer the phone or you're finished knitting for the day, you can come back and you can figure out exactly where you are. So I hope you had a wonderful time joining us making the Diamond in the Rough knit blanket. My name is Mary Beth Temple. I look forward to seeing you again here on Yarnspirations.com. Thanks for joining us.